Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the SIG P365X macro. Let's go ahead and show clear, get that out of the way. We're all good here. So, a couple of years ago when this gun came out, everyone was talking about it because, you know, SIG sent one to like every gun tuber. And everyone was talking about like it's this revolutionary new category. It's like you got flush fit, 17 round mag, and a subcompact size gun. And I will say that the gun is surprisingly thin. It is a pretty darn close to an inch wide, maybe just a bit over. So it's very slim, I'll give it that. Overall size though is pretty comparable to like a Glock 19. That being said though, I feel much more comfortable carrying this than a Glock 19. Like I've carried a Glock 19 in the waistband, and it is more noticeable than this gun. First, I'm going to talk about what I have on the gun. So here I have a Romeo X compact optic. I actually don't like this optic. I got this thinking it was an enclosed dot, but as you can see, there is no back glass. It's just a regular red dot with a housing that makes it look like it's an enclosed dot, but it's not. So a big portion of the reason I don't like it is because it doesn't have any of the advantages of an enclosed dot, and it doesn't have any of the advantages of an open emitter dot, because it's even more difficult now to get in there and clean like lint and stuff off of your front glass, and I hate this optic. I've kept it on the gun because I do like the way it looks, and I wasn't going to buy a Holosun EPS just to switch it out and then, you know, not use this optic anymore. But if I would have known ahead of time that this was not an enclosed optic, I would have gotten the Holosun EPS. So now we have a Streamlight TLR 7A. Everyone knows what that is. I mean, it's a light, and pretty much everyone has one. It fits the gun well, and you're not going to be able to fit like a full-size light on here, but the TLR 7A is one of the lights that you can fit on here, and I like it for what it does. Are there better lights? Yes. Am I going to get rid of this one? Am I going to take it off the gun? Probably not. I like it how it is. Okay, now that I talked about what I have installed on the gun, let's talk about the features of the gun. So you have no manual safety. I don't even know if they make a manual safety version, but there is no manual safety. There's no trigger safety. No safety whatsoever on this gun. The trigger pull is It's about a 5-pound pull, maybe 6.5-pound pull, but there's a lot of pre-travel, and I don't like that. So I'm really not a huge fan of this trigger. I would not say it's a great trigger, but you know, it's a trigger, and it's one of the triggers of all time. Here you have the integrated compensator. It's really just slide cuts that they put on the gun, and the barrel stops short of these slide cuts. So it's kind of like a ported slide that acts as a compensator, because once the bullet exits its barrel, before it's exited out the hole at the front of the slide, these gases are going to vent upwards out of those cuts and act as a compensator. And as you can see, I'm going to put up some footage for you showing just really how the gun doesn't rise that much. There's not a lot of muzzle rise. It's a very controllable gun for its size. And I will say that you would expect it to be a lot snappier, but it's a very pleasant gun to shoot. It's very manageable recoil, and that is a great benefit to this gun, is that integrated compensator design made it to where this gun handles more like a full-size gun, even though you have a very light, slim 9mm gun. Flush fit, 17 round mags. You can get magazine extensions. I only know of one company that makes them. There might be another, but Tyrant CNC makes these magazine extensions for the P365 X Macro magazines, and they're crap.
What a piece of junk!
They just do not work. I installed them. They do not send you an additional spring. You're supposed to just use a spring that you have already. And it's supposed to add 3 rounds, so you're supposed to get a 20 round mag. But if you install this, you're probably going to run into issues with feeding, because what happened to me is once I would get to like 10 to 12 rounds, like once I fired 10 to 12 rounds, I would start having feeding issues and the slide would be locking back. So what was happening was that the slide was going right over the magazine and not picking up a round because it was not pushing up the rounds all the way to the top. It was getting jammed up. And I ran through these mags a lot to try and get them, like maybe they have to break in or something. I put about 200 rounds through one of the magazines and consistently it had that failure. And so I would say do not buy this product until they fix that. And that's the only that's the only magazine extension I know of on the market. So as of right now, you're probably stuck to 17 rounds. They don't make 20 round mags or 21 round mags for the P365 X Macro that I know of. So 17 rounds is what you're at. Okay, I'm gonna shoot some drills with the gun. I'm going to show you guys just some kind of how quick I can get it out of the holster and fire, because that is an advantage of a subcompact like that, is you have less muzzle to clear from your holster, so you can typically get it out faster than you would a full size. And yeah, you guys can go ahead and watch that. After that, you'll come back and I'll tell you my final thoughts and whether or not I think you should get this. Okay, let's run a box drill. 2 to the chest, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head, 1 to the head. There's 2 left targets here. Two to the chest, 1 to the head, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. 393. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 Mozambiques. Just 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. 1 on each target. Okay, let's run another Mozambique. Just 1. $219. You're gonna have to trust me that the ones outside of the A zone were already out, but there were 2 in the A zone. And then 1 in the A zone, there were already 2 other from the box drill and the other Mozambique. Actually, one of those headshots was from something else. And then you can see the little knife mark right there. But yeah, there you go. 2 A zone, 1 A zone, center mass and head, successful Mozambique, 2.19 seconds. Okay guys, now I'm gonna shoot a build drill. Go back here to 7 yards. I'm going to draw from concealment, put 6 rounds in the A zone as fast as I can. 4, 3, 4. And 6 shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the A zone right there. I could probably get faster than that. Let's try again. Okay guys, so that first time was less than ideal. That was my first time shooting a bill drill from concealment with this pistol. So I'm gonna try and get the time down as close to 2 seconds as I can. A 2-second or less bill drill drawing from concealment with the pistol is a good bill drill time. So I don't even know if I'll get that low today, but we'll try. Let's see. .301. So already a lot better than before, but we have 2 C zones. So not better. Damn. I'm gonna work on this a little bit off camera and see if I can get it down to at least 2 seconds. Okay guys, so I got down to a 239 off camera. That was my best time after doing like 10 bill drills. So I'm gonna try another one and we'll see how good I can do. However good it is, this is the last bill drill. I'm tired of doing bill drills. Hopefully I can at least stay under 2.5 seconds. This isn't a race gun, keep in mind. It's got a pretty long length of pull on the trigger. Length of pull. I mean, I guess you could call it a length of pull, but it has a pretty long pre-travel. So that first shot, that first split time is what's killing me. Go ahead and try another. See how I do. All A zones, but a 260. That's the last bill drill, guys. I ain't doing another. Okay, time to move on to something else. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do a draw from concealment and try to put a shot on target, preferably in the A zone, as fast as I can. The goal is under a second. Ooh. 102. You can see though, that was A zone. This is from another, these were used targets, but right there in the A zone, I'm gonna try and get it under a second. Okay guys, here we go again. One shot on target in the A zone, under a second. 101. Damn. Let's go again. There we go. 0.95, but it's a line splitter. Damn it. I want a clean A zone, so we're gonna do that again. Ugh. Clean A zone, but 1 second on the dot. My gosh. Okay, let's try this again. We're going for under a second. One second on the dot, but it wasn't, it was right outside the A zone. So we're gonna try that again. Okay, let's try this again. Under a second, one shot, A zone, drawing from concealment. .89, but it's not an A zone. Let's try again. There we go. .87, and we're one of these two. I don't remember which one, but it's one of these. So it's in the A zone. Finally, geez. Okay guys, so before I tell you my final thoughts, I'm going to tell you some cons that are inherent to the gun. So not, I already talked about the really long pre-travel on the trigger that I do not like, but I'm going to talk about like things that I think that they actually did poorly, things that SIG could improve on, and one of those things is the coating. Whatever coating they are putting on a lot of the metallic parts of this gun, if you can see here, do you see the rust that is visible? This gun is still clear, by the way. On my back sight there, do you see the rust that is visible on the magazine? Do you see the rust that's visible on the trigger? That is from one day of taking this out to shoot at the range. You can even see spots of rust that I wiped off here on the slide, and it left a permanent mark on the coating. That was from one day out shooting. Now, my range is near the ocean. The air is pretty salty out there, but still, that shouldn't be happening, especially just after one day of shooting. If I left the gun sitting out there for a day and it rained and all that, then maybe, but just going out, shooting it not even getting wet, and then the next day having rust on it. Whatever coating that they're putting on this, they need to change that because it is not protecting from rust very well at all. Another thing about, it's specific to my X Macro. The sights came not zeroed. The gun was shooting 2 inches to the right. I put an optic on there without ever fixing that, so I don't even really use the backup irons. If I do, 2 inches off at what? It was 2 inches to the right at like 21 yards. So, sorry, 21 feet, 7 yards. And I mean, that's pretty significant. And when you actually look at it, you could see that it's not centered on the slide. Once I put the optic on it, I didn't have any accuracy issues, and it was the sights. And that might not be the case with whatever P365 X Macro you choose to buy, but there does seem to be QC issues at SIG. And that's just something to keep in mind when you're buying a SIG product, is you might encounter quality control issues. They're producing a ton of guns, putting a ton of guns out there, and it seems like their quality control is lacking. Now that I put those cons out there, let's talk about my final thoughts. Should you buy this gun? Maybe. I don't want to get rid of it. I want to keep it. I like the way it handles. It is my EDC for right now. I EDC multiple guns, but this one I probably carry the most consistently, just because of how comfortable it is to carry. And I like having a 17 round gun that is that comfortable to carry and that shoots that flat. It's just very, very manageable recoil. If you are interested in getting one of its competitors, like, I'm trying to think of something that's I can't even really think of one that's, I just can't think of a gun that directly compares to the 365X macro. Maybe like a Glock 19X, but it's a lot thicker, and I don't know. I mean, I guess you could compare it to a Glock 19X, and if you had to give me a Glock 19X for this, I'll take this because this does shoot flatter. It is more comfortable in the hand, it's better ergonomics, and of course, even though this trigger, I don't really like this trigger that much, it's way better than a Glock trigger. So I would say if you want to get a 365X macro, go ahead and get one. If you have issues with yours, don't hesitate to send it back and say, hey, you need to fix this, because I will be calling SIG and complaining about the rust that I'm getting on this gun and seeing what they'll do about that. Otherwise, you know, if you really want to get one, get one. It doesn't really compare to any other gun on the market right now, or not directly compared. I wouldn't say it directly compares to any other gun on the market. So if you want one, get one. You probably won't hate yourself for buying it. It probably won't be your favorite gun either. With all that said, thanks for watching the video, guys. Next video, probably going to be on another SIG, and it'll be on the P320. I know I already did a Flux Radiator video, which is still a P320, but this is just going to be on the P320 pistol, specifically this one that I built out. And yeah, have a good one, guys. Stay dangerous.